Hello and welcome. My name is James McLaughlin. My friends affectionately refer to me as Tiny. I am a community paramedic with Ute Pass Regional Health Service District in Colorado. I have been in EMS for nearly 30 years, and I've been a community paramedic for nearly 10. Today, we are going to discuss new conversational strategies that improve first responder communications across many spectrums. This concept is called motivational interviewing, or MI. It's a powerful tool in our journey to provide patient-centered care. Motivational interviewing is an empathetic, person-centered approach to supporting others when and where they need it. It prepares people for change by helping them resolve ambivalence, enhance intrinsic motivation, and build confidence. The first challenge to understanding motivational interviewing is reflecting on the fact that change is hard. Let me say that again. Change is hard. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause this video and reflect on a time when you had to make a behavioral change in your own life. It could be something like getting up early or making your bed every morning. It could be something a little bit harder, like stopping a harmful habit, such as smoking, drinking, gambling, or watching pornography. It could be an interaction with another person, such as improving communication skills, or spending more time with your family. Once you have your thing, once you have the thing that you changed, I want you to write down 3 things you remember about your change. What was challenging or uncomfortable about your change? How did you feel about it and your ability to change before making the change, while you were making the change, and then after the change? Why did you make the change in the first place? Now pause the video and come back when you have answered these questions. Welcome back, and thank you for taking the time to complete this exercise. Now what I want you to do is reflect on your change experience. We're going to break down the motivational interviewing core concepts over the next several minutes. I want you to reflect on these concepts as you review and think about your change. These concepts are: 1, empathy. Understanding and sharing the feelings of another. In motivational interviewing, it's about truly listening to our patients, respecting their autonomy for their own perspective, and expressing that understanding back to them. 2, ambivalence. Accepting that mixed feelings or contradictory attitudes towards change are a natural part of the change process and is an important step towards resolution. 3, intrinsic motivation. This is the personal drive to change, coming from within the individual rather than external pressures that attempt to force change. Motivational interviewing aims to tap into these sources of motivation. Forced change breeds resistance and stimulates defensive mechanisms. 4, confidence. Motivational interviewing seeks to build the belief in one's ability to change, reinforcing that the patient has the strength to change intrinsically within themselves. Now, let's reflect on your own experience with change and answer the following questions. What role did these concepts of empathy, ambivalence, intrinsic motivation, and confidence play in your change experience? How are these concepts of empathy, ambivalence, intrinsic motivation, and confidence so crucial for us as first responders? Every day, as providers, we must meet individuals facing challenges that need more than just immediate medical attention. Can you see how a compassionate approach supports lasting change for that individual? Through motivational interviewing, we can engage more effectively with our patients, understanding their needs, and we can guide them towards healthier choices. It's not just about saving lives in the moment. It's about empowering the patient to enhance their own quality of life long term. Think of a frustrating encounter you had with a patient or a member of the community who was struggling with the need for change. How would the concepts of empathy, ambivalence, intrinsic motivation, and confidence have changed your interaction with them? I'm not saying that motivational interviewing is the only answer in every human contact or in every situation, but in many situations, it can be and should be part of the solution. So, whether you're on the front lines as an EMS provider, law enforcement officer, public service access point dispatcher, or you're pioneering the expanding field of mobile integrated healthcare to include community paramedicine, understanding and applying motivational interviewing can transform your interactions and outcomes when serving our communities. Please join us as together we explore how to weave the principles and practices of motivational interviewing into the important work we all do. Together we'll learn how to empower our patients and ourselves to embrace change positively and effectively, even when it's hard, but especially when it's hard. As we take this journey, I encourage you to be introspective and reflect on your own feelings about what you are learning. You should pause the video after each section and ask yourself the following questions. How do I feel about these concepts, lessons, and ideas? It's only in understanding how we feel about something that we can look at our own biases and our own challenges and our own difficulties in applying these practices and seek to overcome them. Ask yourself about a time when you could have applied each of the concepts learned during an encounter with another person. How would it have impacted the outcome? Motivational interviewing is about cultivating a meaningful relationship with others. This can only be accomplished when genuine trust is developed as a core tenet of establishing rapport. That means the skills should be applied from a desire to be of service to others. You're already there. If you weren't, you wouldn't be in this field. Learning and practicing motivational interviewing skills is an intensive process. Like any other skill set, mastering these skills takes discipline, intentionality, and meaningful practice. Think back to when you were learning to be a first responder. It took many attempts to become proficient at things like patient assessment, splinting, or performing evolutions, either on the fire side or law enforcement side. No doubt, over time, you became increasingly proficient at these skills. With experience, you began to practice many of these skills autonomically. You became able to do an assessment while talking to your patient or directing others to perform tasks. Each time you performed these skills, you got closer and closer to mastery. The same is true for motivational interviewing. You must seek out opportunities to apply these skills. Each time you use these skills, you become a bit better. You will better understand when and how to apply these skills until one day it just becomes part of how you interact with people and how you communicate. Before you start this training, please conduct a self-assessment. Make sure you're in a good mental space. If you're feeling suicidal, you're depressed, struggling with anxiety, or are actively engaging in self-harm or other destructive behaviors, this may not be the right time for you to embark in this training. Consider seeking professional help and return when you're in a better space. The concepts we discuss in these lessons may invoke strong emotional feelings. This is normal, and it's okay. Ensure you are practicing good self-care. We want to encourage effective emotional resiliency. If you are feeling overwhelmed at any time, take a break. If something we discuss is triggering, consider talking to a peer about it. If that does not help, please consider seeking professional consultation. If you start to have intrusive thoughts about suicide, or you feel like harming yourself or others, or become gravely emotionally disabled, please consider calling 988 and ask for support. By being here today, you have taken the first step towards integrating motivational interviewing as part of your patient care portfolio. On behalf of your employer, your community, and our industry, I genuinely thank you for your time. See you in the next video.